Failed expansions, Atlanta Flames and Atlanta Thrashers. I will be starting a new series on my channel centered around NHL expansions and cities who have historically failed at being a big hockey market. In this episode, I'll be talking about two expansion teams that played in the city of Atlanta and why the NHL did not work out there. The first expansion team to play in Atlanta was the Atlanta Flames, who started playing there in 1971, along with the New York Islanders, who joined the NHL to rival the WHA. Prior to the Flames joining the NHL, the league had grown from 6 teams in 1966 to 14 in 1970 and had not planned to further expand until at least 1973. However, the creation of the WHA in 1971 changed the NHL's plans and resulted in the two leagues battling for players and markets. The Flames struggled out of the gate with drawing fans. They peaked at an average of 14,161 fans per game in their second season, 1973-74, but fell to 12,258 3 years later, and then 10,500 in 1977-78. Concerns that low attendance could result in relocation of the team surfaced by 1976, prompting politicians and the players themselves to purchase tickets in a bid to stabilize the franchise. Eric Vale was the Flames' top goal scorer with 174 goals, while Tom Lisiak led the team with points with 431. Guy Chenard was the lone player in the team's franchise history to score 50 goals in the season. Goaltender Dan Bouchard led the team in wins with 166 and shutouts with 20. Unlike the New York Islanders, who joined the league at the same time and went on to be a dynasty in the early 1980s, the Atlanta Flames had very little success during their time in Atlanta. Although the Flames did make the playoffs in 6 out of 8 seasons, they failed to win a single playoff series and only won 2 total postseason games. The 1979-80 season marked the last season in Atlanta for the Flames, and they were sold and relocated to Alberta to become the Calgary Flames for $16 million in 1980-81. Although the NHL had previously failed there before, the NHL would return to Atlanta again in 1999, this time as the expansion franchise, the Atlanta Thrashers. By the time the Thrashers joined the NHL, they were the 28th team to join the league and began play in the 1999-2000 season as the Southeast Division of the Eastern Conference. The newly formed Thrashers selected Patrick Stefan with the first overall pick in the 1999 NHL draft, who went on to become one of the biggest busts of all time. Atlanta had the second overall pick in the 2000 NHL entry draft and selected Danny Heatley. Then in 2001, they selected Ilya Kovalchuk with the first overall pick. Both Heatley and Kovalchuk played their first season in the NHL in 2001-2002. Despite both players having individual success, the Thrashers did not have much team success. The Thrashers did worse in Atlanta than the Flames did, as the team only managed to qualify for the playoffs once in 2006-2007, but were quickly swept by the New York Rangers. In May of 2011, the Thrashers were sold to a Canadian-based ownership group, True North Sports and Entertainment, and were relocated to Winnipeg to become the Winnipeg Jets. This marked the second time that a team from Atlanta was relocated to a Canadian city. The first time was to Calgary in 1980 to become the Calgary Flames. Why did NHL teams fail in Atlanta? For one, Atlanta is a major sports market with teams in other professional sports leagues such as the NFL with the Atlanta Falcons, the MLB, Atlanta Braves, and the NBA, the Atlanta Hawks. So competition for sports fans' attention and entertainment dollars is fierce in such a market. Unlike traditional hockey markets in Canada and the northern regions of the US, Atlanta historically lacked a strong hockey culture. This made it difficult to build a dedicated fan base and cultivate local interest in the sport. The location of arenas where the Atlanta NHL teams played also posed challenges. The Phillips Arena in particular, where the Thrashers played, was located in downtown Atlanta, which made it difficult for some fans to access due to traffic and parking issues. Both the Atlanta Flames and Atlanta Thrashers faced ownership and management problems during their tenure. Financial instability and disagreements between ownership groups and local authorities contributed to the challenges faced by both teams. teams. Both the Flames and Thrashers experienced periods of on-the-ice struggles and inconsistency, which made it harder to attract and retain fans. In the wake of talk about Atlanta possibly getting a third NHL expansion team, it's important to point out that the NHL just does not work in the Atlanta market. So if they do try to make another expansion team in Atlanta, it could be doomed to fail again.